What is going on, guys? Today I have with me Dr. Femi. Dr. Femi, also known as Gfem, is a global relationship expert, award-winning motivational speaker, vibrant talk show host of the Dr. Femi Show that is streaming in over 70 million households. Dr. Femi was inducted into the World Book of Greatness in January 2020. He was also the recipient of Global Relationship Expert Iconic Award by the World Civility Day and Ichangenations. He has become a well-known relationship expert and a go-to resource for national and international media outlets. He's been featured on TEDx. It's on YouTube, titled How to Tell If Someone Truly Loves You, and has over 4 million views. He's also been featured on the Word Network, USA Today magazine, I Need a Word, Fox News, Stylecaster, Splash FM, SiriusXM, Radio 1, and many more. He is also a United Nations representative and the founder of National Relationship Equity Day. I welcome the energetic, inspiring, and funny modern-day voice for relationships, Dr. Femi. Welcome, Dr. Femi. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Very excited. And I suppose let's kick it off with, for people that don't know who you are, introduce yourself. And key topic we'll be talking about today is how to know if somebody truly loves you or not. But I think there's so many exciting things to talk about with you anyway. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Richard, once again for having me here. I'm so pleased. I am Dr. Femi Ogunjinmi. I'm a global relationship expert who is improving the relationship journey of singles and couples, taking them from where they are to where they want to be in their relationship. I do so many things with coaching singles and couples. I write a lot of books. I've authored many books, including Revelations of Relationship. I have 2 editions of that. And then my latest book, How to Tell If Someone Truly Loves You, which is based off of my TED Talk that has received over 4 million views now. And there are other things that I do as well, as far as cybersecurity. I train people on cybersecurity to get into the cybersecurity space because professionally for over 10 years, I was a cybersecurity professional. And so I use my experience and my skill sets to be able to train people and get people into that field.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So there's a lot. I think you've worked for the UN, or you still work for the UN, or?
Yeah, I'm a United. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. I'm a United Nations representative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think there's lots of other things as well that I've read. But, yeah. So I was quite interested to understand how you went from cybersecurity, which I don't really know anybody that does cybersecurity, but how you went from cybersecurity to doing what you do now with your radio show hosting and relationship counseling and coaching, because it's very different to cybersecurity.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite different. I feel like I'm a guy who you can consider a sponge, who just enjoys soaking knowledge and getting all information from everywhere, because I believe I thrive better with complexity. Like, I don't like to have a basic life. Like, this is just only one thing that I do. That is boring to me, right? Even that's why in my relationship space that I do, it's so many different layers of it. Like, I do matchmaking, I do speed dating, I do coaching, I write books, I'm a TV show host. I mean, it's like I have to do so many. That's where my happiness is. It's in the diversity and complexity of things. So cybersecurity came to me when I was working for a top government organization. I was a system engineer. And then from there, I became a project manager. And I started gravitating towards cybersecurity. People started talking about technology. The project I was managing, I had people under me that I had to understand what they were doing in the space of IT and cybersecurity, because I have to speak on their behalf to our end clients. So I was wearing many hats as a project lead. So with engineering, cybersecurity, logistics, so many things that I have to understand. But cybersecurity caught my attention. And I had some friends at that time that they will be telling me that they're into cybersecurity, into IT space, and they were making all this great money, and then they had time to themselves, like they were, working from home. And at that time, I was a project lead. I had to go to work 9 to 5, try to get up early in the morning and rush my way and beat the traffic. And then I'm talking to a friend that is home wearing pajamas, or probably is in his boxers and he's making money.
Living the dream.
Living the dream, like, what is going on? What am I doing? I'm just killing myself in this job. So I gained interest with cybersecurity, and then I started learning. I was self-taught. So I taught myself, I got the books, I started reading and studying, and I put my resume out, and I got a call one day, did an interview, and I passed my interview and got my first cybersecurity job. Yeah. And I started working my way in it, started learning so many things from one job to another job to another job. Mm-hmm. So then just racked up this experience in cybersecurity. So I went in it really because of the flexibility to be able to work from home, mm-hmm. and the money that I was able to make from it. Mm-hmm. And now, I've transitioned out of the 9 to 5. I work for myself now. So I kind of train people. If they want to get into that cybersecurity field, they can get in. But my real love, my real passion, mm-hmm. is relationship. That's my love. That's my baby. So other things, I do it because I want to use it to help other people, and because I have some type of experience in it that I can pass on to other people.
Yeah. Okay. It's where, I suppose it's what started you off to where you are now, isn't it?
Yeah. The money is good. I'm able to help people get their certifications and get into the job. So why not do it? Why not help somebody? Why go to your grave, with knowledge that can actually help somebody? So that's pretty much my own mentality, that whatever information that I know, I want to share it. I want to rob the graveyard of all the information. Like, I want to die empty. Like, this guy, when I die, is like, no, I gave everything away that I know.
I like that. So I think it brings me on quite nicely to, I've read it and I've heard you say it as well. I suppose your lifestyle with the cybersecurity piece, you fell in love. Is this correct? You can correct me if I'm wrong. Your lifestyle, obviously you had a certain lifestyle with the cybersecurity piece, and then your true love came along and then things changed.
Yes, the cybersecurity aspect of it, afforded me a certain lifestyle. I remember that there was one time I got a gig, mm-hmm. to travel to about 4 different countries. Yeah. And they paid for my trip there, my hotel mm-hmm. fee, my flight, the money that I made. I mean, I'm talking about crazy money, and then, I get to eat 3 square meal, and they paid me what they call per diem. That you can make some extra money. The lifestyle was just good. I mean, the money was good. But at the end of the day, my love is my love. My passion is my passion. Like, even when I teach students, let me tell you something that is crazy. I teach students cybersecurity. Yeah. And when those students now see me talking about relationship, or they watch one of my videos on relationship, they're like, you are so happy talking about relationship. It's like we see your face just, light up, like you are so energized about talking about relationship. I mean, that's just what it is. Yeah. What you love and passionate about will show no matter what. Mm-hmm. Not that you can do other things, but what you really love will really show. And how can you discover what you really love? I know you may not have that question planned, but just in case somebody is listening, it's how can I figure out what I love, what I have passion for? Yeah. There are so many ways you can figure it out.
It's a great question as well, yeah.
Thank you. But one of the ways is you ask yourself, if I were financially independent, mm-hmm. if I have all the money that I want in this life, mm-hmm. that I don't have to worry about money, what would I be doing? What would I like to do? Mm-hmm. That is where your passion is, because you can do those things without worrying about getting paid for it. That is your passion. That is the way that I would like to share that with somebody. And another way is maybe you already found, something that you are passionate about, something that you are so joyful about, something that if they wake you up in the middle of the night and they ask you a question, help me out with this, you don't need to read a book for it. You don't need to go search something for it. It just comes naturally. You are able to provide solution to somebody's issue. Like, I just got off a coaching call with a girl who is in Pakistan, and she watched my TEDx talk, and we were on the call for 2 hours, and she was like, she needed advice. Listen, if I'm teaching you cybersecurity for 2 hours, I'm going to get paid on that. right? I'm gonna get paid, you know. So, but relationship, like I get paid on relationship stuff, you know, but I don't care that much because I so love it. I so care about it. Like I have so much passion for it. And what she was telling me is like a new situation, right? It's not something that I deal with every day. It's a new situation to her that is unique. It's somebody in Pakistan, somebody who is a Muslim, somebody who is, you know, young, somebody who has to deal with arranged marriage versus loved marriage. I mean, these are situations that are unique, but because of my expertise, because of my knowledge, like I could easily give her the information that here is what you need to do. I can assess her mind. I can assess what she's gone through. I can tell her that from what you are feeling right now, this is what exactly you need to do. And this is why you are in this mess. Even you can just tell by the way I'm talking. Like I'm passionate.
I can see you're passionate. I can see that. That's good. I like passion.
You know, so if you are passionate about something, your energy will show. And that is where your purpose is. That's what you need to be doing full time, you know, or, you know, if you are not even there yet, if you can't pay your bills with that yet, maybe you find something that, you know, that is a high on the side, right? But don't never lose sight of your passion, because that is where your happiness dwells. That is where your happiness resides. That's where your joy is. You know, that is what you need that will give you that much energy in life.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, happiness is important. I think a lot of people get stuck in the bubble and stuck doing things that they just do it because they need money. You know, everyone needs a bit of cash to get by, but you end up in a vicious circle which you don't get out of if you don't follow things that you want to do. I agree 100%. Actually, what you just said about I suppose the person that you were speaking to in Pakistan. Obviously, you know that we spoke. I'm in India at the moment. It's where I live. We get similar situations here. You know, it's a normal thing. Arranged marriages. Might be worth speaking about that later.
Absolutely.
Coming on to that. So let's see some more of the passion. Well, for those that haven't seen your YouTube video, yes, I checked out this morning just kind of what the number is at. It's over the 4 million mark now. It's a very interesting YouTube video, very inspiring as well. It's something I'd never seen somebody talk about love in that way, and how you would know if somebody truly loves you or not. So tell us about how you can tell if somebody truly loves you or not.
Absolutely. Regarding that TED Talk, you know, and I would love to refer people to that. You know, it's called How to Tell If Someone Truly Loves You. You're gonna love it. And I shared one thing that is so important. It is sacrifice. And a lot of people are finding that video. Even this girl that called me from Pakistan, it was through that TED Talk.
She watched it. She watched
the TED Talk.
We'll put the link on the podcast and the YouTube channel as well.
Sure. Thank you for that. So she watched that and she sent me a message like, hey, I saw your TED Talk and I was so led to tell you about my problem and I need you to guide me. So one of the things that you need to know is if somebody truly loves you, sacrifice is one of the important signs of the indication. Because you got to understand, we only make time for something that is important in our lives. We only sacrifice for what we value. And sacrifice is basically saying that I'm releasing something that I have in my hand in an exchange for something that I found to be more valuable. It's like I'm trading something for something else, right? You know, I know in an African culture, and I don't know, I think probably in a Western culture too, they may say this, that if you are eating with your partner on a plate and you are eating together, and you have the last piece of the pie. Let's say you guys are eating pie. And if you want to tell if your husband loves you, you know, it's like, will he take the last piece or will he let it be? You know, let you have that last piece. That's how you can tell. Because it's a sacrifice, right? It's like, I'm releasing this pie for you because I want you, because I care about you. So he is sacrificing something in an exchange for something else that is more valuable, that is more treasurable. So if you are in a relationship that the person is not sacrificing time, they're not sacrificing their finances, they're not sacrificing all they have to be with you, they're not sacrificing bad habits to let go, you know, they are always messing around, always committing atrocities just to make you happy, to make this relationship be healthy, then that is not true love. Because if they really care about you, really care about the relationship, really care about building legacy, then they have to give up their bad vices. They have to give up, you know, what they value more. You know, If you want to see somebody who really cares about what they do, see how much time they are spending on those things. So if somebody is not also spending time with you, that means they don't care about you. There's something else that is more important. And I can understand that, there's time for everything, right? There's time for you to do your work, to do your business, there's time for everything. Mm-hmm. But how we appropriate that time, our family should not be suffering or should be put in the back burner, or your partner should not be put in the back burner of what you have to do, of your business, of your purpose, of your, it's like you got to work those things hand in hand. They got to go together. So sacrifice is the biggest indication of somebody loving you, of somebody showing that they truly love you. And I always like to also think about it from a spiritual aspect, from somebody who may be a Christian. You might have a Christian listener, that, okay, how does that play a role? That's what God did. God released his only son, his only begotten son, Jesus, to save us. So imagine if you have to give up your only son just because of these other people, so that I want them to be saved. That is a huge sacrifice. So I give up this so that I can have the rest of the world. I sacrifice this one person that has been with me since heaven so that I can have these earthly people, right? So it's a huge sacrifice. So from a spiritual aspect and then from a physical aspect, we got to make sure that we are sacrificing. And it's not just time. It's not just money. It's what are your bad habits? What are your bad lifestyle that you need to give up, that your partner is complaining about? Like you are not having time for me, or you are abusive, emotionally or physically abusive, or you are not paying attention to me. You are not telling me that you care about me, that you love me. Those are the things that we have to make those sacrifices for. And that's what I did to show my wife. At that time, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or we're in a relationship, but I had to show her that I really wanted to be with her by sacrificing my bad lifestyle. And what was my bad lifestyle? I used to throw parties. And throwing parties exposed me to a lot of women, like it's like I was the life of the party, So it was hard for me not to be around women. Even if I'm saying no, they are just coming in troops. Like I had women from different states, it was hard. It was really hard, and my wife, my girlfriend at that time, she was not into all this stuff. So she was like, I'm not going to be competing with all these, two-legged girls, like I'm not that, she didn't want that, right? And I had to think about it. Am I going to throw a party for the rest of my life? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be spending time with 4 or 5 different women for the rest of my life? No. Mm-hmm. You got to really know what you want. That at the end of the day, I want to be married to one woman. I want to have children by one woman. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want. So what do I need to do? It was a Kairos moment for me. That is the moment that I had to make that decision. I need to let go of this party lifestyle because I don't even see myself with it in the next 10 years, in 20 years down the line. So I need to give that up right now to somebody that I value way more important than that. And that's what I did.
That kind of answers a lot of questions as well, really, just the sacrifice piece. Because I was going to ask you, do you think that people need to make changes with who they are to find love? And I think that's probably a different question, actually, come to think of it. To find love, do you change who you are? Because if you're in a relationship already, it's different, isn't it? Do you have to make changes?
You have to.
Yeah.
Before you found love, while you are finding love, and after you found love, right? You have to make changes. Now, I like that you answered that. You asked me that question because a lot of people have that in their minds too. And, even as of recent, maybe about a few weeks ago, I posted something that you must be able to make changes. And people like, do I need to change myself? It's not really changing yourself.
Yeah, it's development.
Because it's, thank you. It's a personal development. Yeah. It's letting go some things that will not aid your relationship, that will not help your relationship, that will not enhance your relationship. Yeah. So if you have bad lifestyle, like if you smoke, for an example, and your partner does not like the smell of smoke, like, dude, you got to change that, right? Yeah. And the smoking, it has a repercussion, right? It can affect your lungs, right? It can cause lung cancer, right? So these are things that are not good for you. So that is not changing your DNA, right? It's just changing your bad lifestyle, right? So there has to be personal development. There has to be growth in the relationship. And the funniest thing that it will blow your mind and people's mind is we are always changing. Either we are conscious of it or we are not. So it's either you change for good or you change for bad. Change is constant. It's always constant. So it's either you are changing for good or you are changing for bad. Even if you are saying you are stagnant for good or you are stagnant for bad, right?
That's true. It's very true.
So it's constant. So it's just a mind shift that we have to be conscious of making a positive change because we have to grow. We're always evolving. And it's very important that, let me share this lesson, that you pay attention to your partner. Because sometimes your partner is changing, but they themselves may not know that they've changed. That's one. And two, they are not even communicating to you that they've changed. So that change brings about disparity in the relationship because the person that you met before 10 years ago or 5 years ago is no longer that person now. So that causes a shift, a change. Like I'm here, you are here. We don't see eye to eye anymore. Like our conversation is not the same anymore, right?
That's interesting. That is. I can't say I've even thought of it like that, actually. Noticing, well, yes, you do notice change. You do notice it, but do you communicate it? I mean, if I reflect back on myself, I don't think I've ever said any relationship. I don't know if I've ever communicated I've noticed change, specifically what it might be. Could you share some examples maybe of what some of the things are from maybe some of the sessions that you do with people?
Yes, absolutely. Like your love language may have changed, for an example. So maybe you have a partner who enjoys gifts at the beginning of your relationship. You're always giving out gift. But over time, it's like, well, all that gift, chocolate stuff and card that you were buying, the perfume, it's like that is so 1985, That's so old school to me. Right. It's like, man, now I got a kid, we got 2 kids, we got 4 kids. Like, I don't need chocolate and flowers all the time anymore. Not that I don't like them, but now my priority has changed. Now, because we are having kids in this relationship, now my love language is that, are you helping me out in the house?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Are you helping with the chores? Right. Are you helping me with the kids? Are you giving me words of affirmation? Like, babe, I really appreciate you for what you are doing. Like, wow, I mean, you do so much, you work, you have your business, and you still take care of these kids, and you still make sure that you still cook, and we are all well fed, right? So now it's more of words of affirmation, right? Now it's no longer about gifting anymore. It's words of affirmation. It's more of quality time as well. How much time you are spending with me. It's more of how you are, helping out with the chores in the house. So that is the change that we may need to start paying attention to. That, okay, my partner no longer likes this anymore. Not that they don't, fancy it, but it's no longer a priority to them. It's no longer, what really touches their heart, what really touches their bones, what really makes them feel like, wow, this guy gets me, this lady gets me, right? So those are the changes that we need to sometimes pay attention to, or even else changes, right? As far as like food goes, like your diet. Maybe you used to just eat McDonald's and all kind of bunch of food, or your partner can just make any kind of food for you at home. But now it's like, no, I'm exercising, I'm taking walks every day. I don't eat all that junks anymore. And your partner is still preparing junks. Like, babe, do you know I don't eat junks? Like, do you know that every morning I work out? Do you notice that I take some walk? Like, I want to be fit. I want this clothes to fit me, Like, I don't eat like that. Or, the size of the food that your partner prepares, it's like this humongous amount of food. It's like, I don't eat this big food anymore. Like, this is too much. And we are not communicating that. And we can easily have fight over that or argument over that, right? Or it's like, why are you not paying attention to me? Don't you know? Are you not observing me? It's like, but you have not communicated that, right?
Yeah. Out of your experience, is this one of the key things why relationships do suffer? It's just from these observations not being picked up and not communicated?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where partner will say, we've outgrown each other. But what does that really mean? We've outgrown each other.
I've heard
It's
that
because
before.
you've changed, you've evolved, and I did not pay attention to your evolvement, to your transformation. And you also did not communicate your transformation to me so that I can now know the new person you are. And then it will give me more information on how I can better relate with you now. This new Richard, right? You got a new Richard now, right? How can I relate with a new Richard? Even this happens with friends' relationship. Like your friends from high school, you guys may not relate anymore because you've outgrown each other. The way you think now is different. Like the conversation you want to have, the topics you want to talk about is different, but your friends still want to be talking about, things that happened 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or they want to be talking about, let's go smoke, let's go womanize, let's go drink, let's go get drunk. It's like, no, man, I'm not about that. I'm about building legacy. I'm about my future, right? So those things have changed. And if your friends didn't really pay attention to your changes, they will still be relating with you as the old Richard. Right. And then after a while, you want to drift away. Even when they call you, you don't want to pick up the phone. You don't even want to engage for 10 minutes or for 30-minute conversation because the conversation is so boring to you. So it's the same thing that happens when you have changed, when you've evolved, your conversation gets stale. You and your partner can't have 30 minutes conversation because you are not on the same page. You're not talking apples to apples. It's like apples and orange. I'm on orange. You're talking about apple. It's two different things. I'm in a different world, right? Things are shifted. Things are different now. So it's very important. These are the things, the issues that couples go through. And I help them find the root problem, right? Couples talk about fruits. I talk about roots. See, you're talking about the fruits, the symptoms. I'm talking about what caused the symptoms. Let's talk about what happened, right? It's like, saying that word that we've outgrown each other. That's the fruit. So like, yeah, I see changes, but what happened, right? What is the root cause of it?
And how do you get to the root cause of it? I think a lot of what you just said, the observations, how do you pick it? How do you handle it? Because there's going to be a lot of people. I definitely know there's lots of people. I can even say myself sometimes. I even reflecting back, there's things that I've missed. But people are listening. Probably, how do I handle that? How do I tackle it? If you see these observations, what's the best course of action for it?
You should always ask questions. I think in relationship we don't do that a lot. We make a lot of assumptions, and when you make assumptions, you won't get to the root cause of it. So if you are having an argument with your partner or your partner makes a statement, you should always ponder and be inquisitive. Why did you make such a statement? Why did you act like that? Because if you can ask the why, you get to understand what made them make such statement or act like that. And sometimes your partner is acting out of reflex, is acting out of their subconscious mind. Stuff that has already been programmed into their minds due to their past relationship. So they themselves don't know why they are acting like that or why they are speaking like that. And that's why you have to take a moment and ask that challenging question. Why did you say such thing? And when you can do that, it will make your partner pause and say, wow, let me think about where is this behavior coming from? What is this action coming from? And it can make them to retrace their steps and say, oh, wow, it's probably what I endured in my past relationship, or it's probably what I went through growing up as a child with my parents, or seeing the dynamics of the relationship between my dad and my mom. And all that went into my subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is powerful. 90% of what we do, what we say, how we act comes from our subconscious mind because we don't think about it. It's already been programmed in us. So it just comes naturally. So we have to be able to ask why. Why did you say that? Why did you act like that? What happened? What triggered that? Is that something that I said that triggered you to act like that or to say such things? So asking those why and finding out what is the trigger that made you do this, that makes you say this. Because when you know those things, it's easier to correct them or to prevent them from happening next time. Because it could be my trigger that will make or will cause my partner to say such things or act in a certain way. So, but when I ask, what is it that I said? Is that something that I said that I did that made you to act that way? Then let me know. Because now if I know that, I will know next time not to do it, or I will know that, oh, this is the exact thing that is actually making you act like this. So it's not really this, or it's not what I was thinking. It's something else.
And what about if I don't cooperate? If they're like, well, what are you asking me for? Like, I'm trying to run through like it in my head. If you said that, but maybe it was a heated moment, and they say, partner says, why are you asking that? I don't know if they respond with some hostility towards it.
So let me get that situation very well, that your partner complains that you are not always cooperative, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're asking, why, what makes you say that, right?
Yeah.
And your partner is,
they're challenging
the question,
you.
your question, right?
Yeah.
Why you always say,
yeah.
I will break it down, right? And I will say, okay, let's understand this. You are telling me that I'm not always cooperative. Is there something that I said, that I did, that show you that I'm not cooperative? Because that's what you want to know. So sometimes you have to rephrase the question from saying why. You might say, is there something that I said? Because I want to understand you. You can even come from the point of saying, babe, I just want to understand you better, because I don't want this situation to keep on going. I don't want you to feel that I'm not being cooperative. So I just want to understand you better. Like, talk from the soft, from the soft spoken aspect, and from the empathy, like empathizing with them. I understand what they are going through. Or you can just say, babe, I can understand how frustrating this can be for you, for me not being cooperative. Like, I can really understand that. For somebody not being cooperative, you just feel like you are by yourself. Like, I understand that. But I really want to know, what exactly do I do that shows you that I'm not being cooperative? Is it something that I say? Is it something that I do? Is it my attitude? I just want to know that. When you can change your tonation a little bit, even though they may want to come from the harsh way, but change your tonation. It's a soft response that turns away harsh words, right? Change your tonation a little bit, soften it, come from the empathy aspect. Like, I can understand how it feels when somebody is not being cooperative, because I feel like you are just working, by yourself, right? That you're just all alone, that you're not being supportive. So I can understand it, but I want to know something that I did to contribute that, so that I can change, because I really don't want you to be feeling this way. I want our relationship to feel good. I want to be a cooperative husband, a cooperative friend, a cooperative, boyfriend. So that's the way I would spin that.
So let's go back to this is just, look, I don't know this way. I'm sure it does. If you're in a relationship and you're questioning, which is what the question is anyway at the beginning, how do I know if this person loves me or not? Or you're questioning yourself. You're like, I don't know if they really love me. How do you go about, and I know you said about the sacrifice piece. How do you test it? Is that right, me saying that? I don't know.
Yes,
No,
yes.
How do you test it?
You have to test it, right? Take for an example, maybe, someone is a single parent here watching.
Yeah.
You have a child, and then a girlfriend, for an example, a single parent mother, and now you have a guy who says he's interested in you and he loves you. One of the signs that you should pay attention is, does he really love me, or does he love everything that comes with me? Because your child is part of your family.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you test that? Because somebody that loves you also want to spend time with you and your child. Somebody that loves you wants to pay attention to what you talk about your child. So how do you test that? Talk about your child and see if they pay attention to that. See what they say about that child. Tell them that your child is having a birthday, or your child is having a recital, dance recital, or something like that. See if they come and show up to that dance recital. See if they come with present, a gift, right?
Making the effort.
That's making the effort, right? Yeah. That's how you test. Or they come and they only spend 10 minutes. It's like, oh, I gotta go. That's how you test. Like, okay, is this person in it, for a wrong reason, or they really love me and my family, right? Or they only come in for 10 minutes, but then when you guys are about to make love, they are there for 1 hour. They are there for 2 hours, right? You gotta test these people. Right? Because without test, we will not have information to be able to make an informed decision. It's only from knowledge and information that you can help us to make an informed decision, and to be accurate, and to be able to validate our own feelings. Like, yes, I'm right. I tested him, I tested her, and he or she failed at this. So you definitely got to run the test.
So the bit I do want to talk about is the piece that we talked about earlier with the lady in Pakistan, with the not specifically that arranged marriages. I have listeners from India, and I know arranged marriages is a cultural thing here. I don't have anything against it. I personally don't get it. But what's your advice to people that maybe are in arranged relationships or arranged marriages where there might not be love? How do you move forward? Because I'm sure a lot of them don't have love to start with. How do you move forward in a relationship when that's not there?
I think people that sometimes opt for arranged marriage, they either don't understand what love is, or they misconstrue stability for love. And stability comes from, I'm in a marriage, right? I have somebody say that I'm their wife, right? My friends see that I'm in a marriage. My parents get to see that I am married, right? Stability, right? Another stability is that I have children and this person is able to send them to school, is able to afford their education, right? Stability. I need clothes and this person is able to give me money to buy clothes, right? Stability. So, and they confuse or misconstrue stability as love. That as long as all those things are there, this person loves me, right? Right? Then what happens with the feelings that you have with the person? Are you open to the person? Do you guys engage? Are you connected? Do you have chemistry, right? Or is it just they're just checking the box? They're just, doing their conjugal duties as a married person. Because as expected, if you are married, yes, all those things got to be happening, right? So I think that's what it is. And that those people don't know what love is, all those stabilities, as love. And it's really not. Those things are not really what love is. Like love, you got to first feel it, right? It's a mutual things that you have for each other. What I feel is what I emit through actions, and what you feel is what you emit through actions. But it's beyond I'm giving you money. It's beyond I'm sending your children to school, right? Or I'm sending our children to school. Not that those things are not good, but those are duties that you're supposed to perform regardless. So it's beyond all those things, because what happens when the money is no longer there? Will I still want to be in this relationship with this man? Or what happens, when I no longer find fit what this guy is providing or what this girl has been providing? Would I still want to be with this person in their dying times when they are sick? Do I really want to prepare a meal because it is my conjugal duties, or because I care about this person, right? You see, that is the love, right? I do this out of care, not because of I am married is what is expected of me. So those people are living in a relationship because of what is expected. So that's what I would say, that if you're in an arranged marriage, you got to know how to separate love from conjugal duties and what is expected, right? I care about this person, I feel about this person, even if all these things are not in place, I would still love to be next to this person. We will struggle together.
How do you, because there'll be people that are in arranged marriages that want to find love with their partner that they're married to. What sort of steps do you take to build? Can you build love? Do you know it? Wait, I don't know. I don't know if anyone knows that. I don't know.
That's a question that is so important, and I don't think people ask that a lot. Can you build love?
If you, especially in that situation, like scenario
that you already arranged.
Yeah. You want to make it work. You want to make love. Not in that sense. Well, you might want to do that as well, but you want to make love between you two as partners.
You see, there are different types of love, right? There, you have the filial love, the eros love. Eros is just the sexual fantasy you feel. The philia is just brotherly love, and then you have the true love that is unconditional, right? It's not placed on values. It's not placed on whatever you do for me, right? To really feel that, it's a natural thing. You cannot build that, right? You must have it from the get-go. You have to feel that towards that person. Now, there are instances where you can actually feel that from the beginning, and then the love dies, and then you can do some other things to bring the love back up, right? But, and some people say sometimes love grows on you. That happens too. that it's not love at first sight, right? It's not like you met this person. It's like, man, you're just having this butterfly in your stomach. You can't sleep. You're going to bed and you're just thinking about that person. That's all you think about and dream about. You can't eat your food. You are eating your food. As a matter of fact, the picture that is coming in front of your food is the face of the person that you saw. It's like, it's like, this must be love sent from heaven. This is a Cupid love right here. So there are times that you don't get that at the beginning, that it will grow on you, maybe after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years. But really, you yourself can tell if this is a natural, unconditional love or not, or you are just forcing yourself to love that person. You can tell within yourself. This is something that I'm forcing. This is not something that is natural. Even though you may not see it at first, it can grow. There are loves like that will grow over time, but you yourself, you will know this is love that is a man-made love. This is not a natural love that I feel. And that is why I tell you this. That is why some people cheat in the relationship that I've seen, that they will go back to that guy that they've loved since high school or from college. That is just a natural love, right? And that guy, he ain't got no money, he ain't got no house, he doesn't have a good job, but they will end up spending time with that guy. They will end up sleeping with that guy while they are still married with a man who puts roof over their head, with a man who supplies everything that they need. Because they don't have a natural love for the man that they married. But this high school sweetheart, this college sweetheart, they still feel it's a natural thing that you cannot explain because it is not based on anything. It's not based on any value. It's not based on what the person can do for you. I just feel this about this person.
Yeah. It's tough, isn't it?
Very tough.
Yeah. So what are some of the most common things that people come to you for help with? I'm talking about relationships, not talking about cybersecurity now.
What they come to me for, it's a lot, right? If we are talking about dating or being married,
okay. Which one should we choose then?
We can say be married. Let's just say be married first. People come to me for power struggle.
Power struggle?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like, how men feel that they have to dominate the relationship.
They've got to be the big breadwinner.
The breadwinner. I'm the one that make all the decisions in the house. It's either my way or the highway, right? It's like the woman, you're second-class citizen. I'm the first-class citizen, right? She has no voice. She has to bend her ways to my needs. She has to always meet my needs, right? So the power struggle of I have an idea. She also wants to have a voice, right? How do I balance that? Right. So, and you grow up in a home, in an environment where the men have always been made an hero, where the men have always been the dominant one, who have always been the one that makes all the decisions and is also the breadwinner, and the woman is like a stay-at-home wife, right? So I get that a lot.
Okay. All right.
Because it transcends almost every culture. Like the African culture, the Islamic culture, the Western culture. I mean, it's there. The men are made like, this, you got to put them on a high pedestal, right? So the power struggle comes there. That how do I balance this? And the power struggle comes because we are living in a modern age where the women are now economically empowered. That what makes you feel like a man is no longer enough. Your money is no longer enough to make you feel like a man because now this woman is also making money. As a matter of fact, she may even be making more than you, right?
It happens a lot now.
Exactly.
Look, rightly so, man.
Even the house that you guys are both living, your name is not in that house. You are living in her house, in her apartment. Right? So, but some men are not comfortable with that, right? Some men are not okay with that. So some men can't fathom that, right? You have a man who goes to his dad and say, Dad, I'm having power struggle with my wife. And the father says, you got to put your foot down, son. Because the father grew up in a old school where It was the dominant one. He was the breadwinner. He had money, and the wife was just stay-home wife. And she had no money. She had no voice, because if she were to raise her voice, she knows what is going to be, what's going to happen. Is it that going to send her packing? Like, oh, I'm going to send you back to your parents' house, right? Or it's like those children of yours, I'm not going to pay for their school tuition, right? So you know what the repercussion would be if you were to be going head to head with that man. So now your father is now advising you, like, son, you got to put your foot down. Like, I'm the man in this house. You better recognize that woman.
Like in the animation there.
Right. You like the animation. And the son says, Daddy, even where I put my foot is not my floor. This is not my house. It belongs to my wife. So I cannot do that. So men are struggling, being cognizant of the shift, of the dynamic of what is going on in the world today. And it's like, this woman has a voice. This woman, she has her own advice. She has her own ideas. And she thinks her idea is better than my idea. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you guys are still arguing. It's like, this woman is not backing down. She's still arguing with me for 10, 15 minutes. Like, what is going on? Don't you see the muscle that I have? Like, I can overpower you, woman. Like, you're not scared? You know? So that messes up a man's mind, because he did not grow up with such culture. Yeah. He grew up with, like, his mom would be quiet whenever his dad is talking, right? He grew up with, looking at his older brothers, his cousins, his uncles. Like, he saw the dynamic of the relationship. Like, when a man is talking.
This is what a man looks like. You've got to be.
This is what a man, exactly. You got to be a man. This is what a man's look like. A man puts his foot down and the woman has nothing to say. Yeah. So I help couples to understand that dynamic of, you can both dominate your relationship and not lose your place as a man. Yeah. You can both have voice in the relationship, because the way you need to start looking at your relationship is what I call relationship equity. Yeah. And relationship equity is basically having fairness in the relationship. It's treating your partner the way you would like to be treated. Will I like to be in a relationship where I have no voice just because of my gender? Would I like to be in a relationship that, my needs are not being met just because I'm not contributing financially? Don't I have other things that I'm bringing to the table that is beyond the money? Am I being valued as a human being in the relationship? So when you start having the mindset of, let me shift the way I look at my wife. Let me shift the way I look at this woman. We both have equal share of power in this relationship. We both have relationship equity. I need to practice fairness in this relationship. I need to treat this woman the way I would like to be treated. Yeah. Would I like somebody telling me to shut up? Would I like somebody telling me that I don't make sense? Would I feel happy about that? Because guess what? I like to tell men, if you have a daughter, will you like your daughter to experience the same thing her mom is experiencing right now? That's how I help a man to think clearly about that. And I bet every man will be like, no, I will never allow a man to treat my daughter anyhow. I will never allow a man, to abuse my daughter or to tell my daughter she's nothing, that her voice is not heard. Like, think about that. The daughter that you sent to school, that you paid for her tuition, and you will let any man just talk to her and walk on her like a doormat anyhow? Like, she has no voice, she has no common sense. Like, no, over my dead body as a father. So if you don't want the same thing, why would you want to treat her mother like that, right? Yeah. So, and that's why I created what is called National Relationship Equity Day, for couples to celebrate each other, to respect each other, to value each other. You see, relationship is about 100-100. And our 100-100 cannot be the same. Just because you are providing the money, I'm the one cooking the meal. When you are sick, I'm the one, rubbing your head, putting, stuff on your body, right? I'm the one laying the bed. I'm the one, helping the kids with education, okay? Helping them with their schoolwork. I'm the one putting them to bed, right? I'm the one doing all these things. So we must have separation of duties. We can't be doing the same thing. So I'm putting my 100 in the way I can put my 100, and you are putting your 100. And what we are putting also is based on our skill set, right? If you are making 200,000 pounds, you are making that because of your gift. It's because of your skill set. I may not be able to make 200,000 pounds because I don't have a skill set that can make that much money. Yeah. Right? So we got to look at it from the logical side, sense of things. Like what I get to do in the family is based on my skill set, is based on my experience, is based on my ideas, is based on my knowledge. And you cannot fault me for that. It's what I know. It's what God has given to me. And my gift is different from your gift, right? So we cannot compare each other. See, when you start comparing yourself to your partner, what I do versus what they do, oh man, you are going to affect the growth of your relationship. You are going to mess up your relationship when that comparison starts to work. So we create this National Relationship Equity Day to eradicate gender inequity in the relationship. So you start to see yourself, and there is nothing that stops you from saying that I'm a man. You're still a man. You see, you are the king, she's the queen. You are the president, she's the vice president. A president does not make a decision without the consent of the vice president. Yes, you have the final say, but your decision is based on the idea that your vice president is also contributing. And then you look at those ideas that you have and your vice president has and say, which one will move the family forward? Which one will bring the best value for this family? You don't look at it from that egotistical aspect of I'm the president. My idea has to be the best. No. You don't have all the ideas in the world. Who are you? You ain't not God. So you gotta listen to everybody so that you can make a best decision. A president makes an informed decision. That's why he always surrounds himself with the right cabinet of people. With smart people. Your wife is smart. She brings in value. She has experience, expertise, that when you bring our ideas together, coupled with your ideas, wow, and you marry all those together. That's what it's called, marriage. And then it will move the family forward, the legacy. You are building things. And I always say a leader empowers everyone. It does not suppress anyone. Got to empower your wife, empower each other. And this is vice versa too. I know that I speak a lot about men because men, we are the one who feel that we are dominating, but there are some relationships too that the women dominate. Yeah. Because that man doesn't really have, everything, that the society considers to make you feel like a man. So the woman dominates everything, right? So I would say to that woman, listen to your husband. You see, be submissive, be attentive to him, empower him. Don't emasculate him. He's a man. He wants to feel like a king. Make him feel like a king. Even though you are bringing all the money in, let him have an idea on how we're going to spend that money. Let him have a voice as well. So let each other be heard.
I like that. I think, and you could see the passion as well, the way you delivered that as well. And I think that, I know you mentioned it a couple of times, but I feel like it was said quite casually, and I feel like it shouldn't be. And that's your Relationship Equity Day. And just in case it slipped by anybody that's listening, Dr. Femi is the founder of the Relationship Equity Day, which is no mean feat, I should imagine. It's something that's worldwide, is it?
Yes.
It's actually a day that you've created.
Exactly. It's a national day.
That's a huge thing.
It is.
You said it quite casually, I felt. I just want to highlight that, man. Yeah, it's something to be proud of. And it's for a good cause. June the 20th, is it June the 14th or 24th?
June 24th.
June 24th.
Yeah. June 24th. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm a man of faith, and every day I always ask God to give me a passage to read, that it will be my lesson for that day, or will be a lesson that I can pass on to people. And today, God led me to read, for those that are Christians, God led me to read Proverbs 27, verse 2. And it says, let someone else praise you and not your own mouth. Let an outsider not your own lips. So that's exactly what just happened. You had to do the praise, not me doing the praise, So when you said that, God just made me to remember, like, don't forget the scripture that I led you to read today. That's exactly what just happened there, So, thank you, Richard, for
no problem, man. My pleasure.
for the praise, and it's a national day, that's made a national day celebrated worldwide, June 24th. It's something that should be done every day, but yes. Between partners, but as a national day, just to create a brand awareness and for people to really celebrate and to make a huge noise about this, that's why it's made a particular day, June 24th, that couples celebrate each other. And the way that we advise couples to do that, one of the ways that you break that gender inequity in your relationship is like, pick something that your partner does that you've already made a gender role, because we are breaking gender role.
Yeah.
What is it that your partner does either every day, every month? Maybe they pay bills, for an example, a particular bill.
Okay. Yeah.
You might just say, all right, let me save money towards that day, towards that month, that I relinquish them of that duty, because I don't want anything to be known as a gender role in my relationship. Because when you're already making something a gender role, you're already empowering that person, that you are the only one that can do it, right? So we break that gender role by saying, okay, let me take on a bill, and you have time to work towards that. And it may not even be a bill. It may just be a house chore that your partner does. Maybe cooking, right? Maybe it's the woman that does the cooking all the time. Maybe for that day, it's like, let me just cook for my wife. Or vice versa. We have men now that they are the ones
I do all the cooking. I'm the cook.
So you do, it's good. So there are men would, and that is the reason why we have that National Relationship Equity Day, to break gender role, because people have been made to think that the place of the kitchen is for women. It's like, no, it's for the person who has the skill set to do that. Like, it doesn't have to be for
the
one
person that wants to do it as well, isn't it? Some people.
Or the person that wants to do it.
Yeah.
That is it. Like in my house, my wife does the cooking, but I enjoy doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it. She does not like doing dishes.
I don't like doing the dishes.
So look at that. So it's who enjoys it, right? Yeah. So it's about interest. So that's why even when we define relationship equity, is you define your role as your skill set, your interest, right? What you love to do, and the constraints too. There are some constraints that because I am pregnant, I cannot do this. Because I'm not working, I cannot pay this bill, right? Yeah. It's the constraint. So we have to look at everything in its entirety to say, this duty, let this person do it. Because of constraints, because of interest, because of gifts, because of skill set, we got to look at all those things. And that's why, relationship equity is not the same as relationship equality. Because a relationship equality says we have to be doing the same thing. Yeah. We are equal in that level. It's like, no. Relationship equity takes it further. We have access to the same thing, but that doesn't mean we have to be doing the same thing, because what separates us is not our gender, it's our skill set, it's our gifts, it's our values, right? It's our interests, it's our constraints. So that's why I love the idea of relationship equity, because it takes relationship equality a step further to consider all those things that affect it. So, yeah. Thank you, Richard.
So, well, anyone that's listening, June the 24th, make sure that you're aware now. Well, you are aware now of Relationship Equity Day. Yes, and it's something to be proud of, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing. So, look, before we finish, Dr. Femi, is there anything else that you would like to share specifically, maybe for anybody that's listening, that you feel could help somebody that's in a relationship that needs a little bit of help? And I know that is very vague because it could be broken down into many different layers. But any final words of wisdom? Because I know you've got a lot of words of wisdom and anything.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you for giving me the opportunity once again, Richard. Yeah. I really enjoyed our interview. It's been so organic and spontaneous at the same time, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah. For the last final word that I can give to people that are in a relationship, I want you to practice what I call love deposit. Love deposit. What does that really mean? It means that you have to deposit enough love in your relationship to be able to withdraw that. Let me give you a practical example. So let's say you want to buy a merchandise, want to buy a product, for an example.
Yeah.
And let's say that product cost $200 or £200, for an example.
Yeah.
And you go to the ATM to want to withdraw that £200 because you felt that you had £200 in that account, right? And you get to the ATM and you withdraw the money. And while you are trying to withdraw the money, you get an alert, a message that says insufficient funds, right? And the reason why you got insufficient funds because you did not deposit or you did not have enough money that is equivalent to what you want to do to withdraw. It's the same aspect with love. Sometimes you ask your partner to do something for you and they don't want to do it willingly. Or let's say, you know, in the case of love or sex, right? Yeah. You want to have sex with your wife, you know, at the end of the night. But your wife is like, no, I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do that. It's because you have not deposited enough love in that relationship that can help you to withdraw that. But imagine if you wake up in the morning and you look at your wife, you say, baby, you are beautiful. Oh, you smell so good, even though you have not brushed your teeth yet. You still smell good to me. You know,
why'd you cry and let me laugh?
You know, I like you even without having the makeup on. Yeah. I love you. I love your body. And then you hug her so tight. And then maybe you guys are about to go to work and you kiss her. You say, babe, I love you. I care about you. You have no competitor. You have no competition. There is no other woman except you. You know, you will go to work and you will do well. You will kill it at that job. And then, you know, during the day, you call your wife and you call her and you say, baby, I just called to say I love you. And your wife is like, what is going on, Richard? Like, that is what I just called for. Like, I don't want anything. I just called to tell you that. Yeah. And then you hang up and 10 minutes later, you call again. You say, I just called to say how much I care. Man, listen, you are depositing love. And then by the time you come home, maybe you just, you know, dropped at the grocery stores or somewhere at the market. You just bought like roses, you know, spend 10, 15 pounds or $20 just to buy that. Yeah. And you just come and just say, baby, this is just for you. Wow. I mean, see the smile, see the happiness that will come. She will hug you so tight. I'm telling you, even by the time you know, you're not going to be the one asking her, baby, I want to make love to you. Guess what? She's going to go into that room. She's going to put on some nice, beautiful lingerie and say, baby, can you see your girl? Come on now. Come get some. You know? You know, because now you've deposited enough love all day. Yeah. And you can withdraw all night long. All night. You can withdraw all night long. You know, so that is the way it works. You have to deposit love every day to one another, so that anytime you want to withdraw that, your partner does not feel reluctant to do that. They are very open to do it. They just do it willingly. They do it from the abundance of love that it's already there.
I don't think they could have ended with anything better. That was quite comical at some points, but I don't devalue what you said at all. I think it is absolutely amazing. Deposit love, and the way you've described it, I love that. I love it. I don't think I've ever cried on one of my podcasts yet. Not with laughter anyway, or sadness, but there you go. That's a first. So, look, I just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Femi. This has been a real pleasure, a real treat. I'm speaking to you. I'm a very passionate guy with so much to say and so much wisdom to share, and just delivered it in, like you said, that such a natural way, but with just that passion behind it. It's just put a real special touch on it for me. How can people find you if they want to find you? I'll put the links in the comments for the YouTube channel and for the podcast piece. But for those that are listening, how can people come and find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that opportunity. Yeah. People can easily find me on my website, gfemspeaks.com. gfemspeaks.com. And from there, you can also see my social media handle, Facebook, Gfem Speaks, Instagram, Gfem Speaks, Twitter at Gfem Radio. But once you just go to my website, you will also see all those social media links. And then if you want to probably purchase any of my books, you can find it on that site as well. Or if you want to buy like my online courses that I've created for singles and those in a relationship, then you can go to my online university platform, which are called theimprovementuniversity.com. Theimprovementuniversity.com. Thank you so much, Richard. I really enjoyed our
thank you
our engagement and discussion. I don't even call it an interview; it's just a discussion.
Yeah, it's just a chat. It's just a chat. It's been a fun. And you know what? We're in massive different time zones, as we said at the beginning. But for those listening, obviously I'm in India. It's now 10 to 1 in a.m. Nearly 1 a.m. And I think, what's the time where you are now?
Yeah, it's 2:21 p.m.
PM.
Yeah. Eastern time. Yeah.
I mean, I woke up at 7 a.m. I went to work today. I had a long day, and I get back. You kind of think, oh, I feel a bit tired, but I have not been tired at all. You kind of woke me up a little bit, so I need to try and get to sleep in a bit. But,
yes,
it was good fun. It was good fun. Thank you.
Likewise. You're quite welcome, man. Thank you so much for staying up and doing this. I really appreciate it. I can tell that you love what you do. You have passion for what you do. Yeah. Otherwise, you will not be up at this time, doing it. Keep up the great work, Richard. And hopefully one day we get to see in person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
We'll make that happen. Take care.
All right. Take care.
All right.
If you'd like to reach out to Dr. Femi or you'd like to see him, then we've left some links in the description. This has been Richard Rosa and Dr. Femi. Peace out.